All right, shalom, shalom. Call Haloyim Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Chakwadash and Shani Kabada Gadawala Requab to Quanyam Nawa Wash Halayakim Nawa. And that's double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And Shalom Wabarakim Labakayim Shalayasharala. And that's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. And as always, may a double portion of the Holy Spirit be put upon all the brothers that are out there on the highways and byways, offering your bodies as a living sacrifice out there on the front lines. So as you can see, this video is going to be entitled 2020 is going to be a lit year. And the reason why I say that is because, one, I just have a good feeling through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. The scriptures talk about how in this time, then faith shall be flourishing. And that's how all of us feel. We know that this year, and of course, it's not a new year according to our calendar. And who knows if we're even in the year 2020 anyway. But for the sake of this video and the topic, then it's still going to be titled 2020 will be a lit year, because we all know what I'm referring to when I say that. So with that being said, I have a few different articles that I want to bring out, all concerning upcoming, well, at the end of the day, they're definitely prophecies, but really upcoming, I guess, events, world events that could possibly take place in 2020. Now, of course, so we're looking forward to the end of this current world, the end of this current reign of rulership by the Edomites. We're looking for that to happen this year, their end, because when Babylon falls, which is America, then that means that we can now usher in the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be ruled by Yahweh Shai heading it. And then under that is King David. Under him is going to be the 144,000 men. And the kingdom of heaven is by default the nation of Israel in rulership. That's what we're looking forward to, which is why we're hoping that 2020 is the year that the Lord Yahweh Shai returns. So once again, I'm going to go through about 4 articles, and I'm going to make this a pretty quick read, because I don't want to go through and read every single paragraph in all 4. I want to hit the main points concerning upcoming possible events in 2020, and then of course back it up with some scriptures. So this article first says, an epic stock market crash is looming, analysts warn. And this was written December 29th of 2019. So jumping into it, and I'm glad they have this. So these 3 bullet points sums up the entire article. The first bullet point says, analysts are warning that a stock market crash is on the horizon. The second bullet point says, today's market conditions are similar to those in 1998 before a 45-day correction, meaning the market went down dramatically. The third bullet point says, analysts at Vanguard say there's a good chance the crash could come as early as 2020. So 2020, like I've been saying for a long time, because of many other financial analysts have been saying it as well, 2020 could be the year of a stock market collapse, the demise of the US dollar. Hopefully it is. So the first paragraph says, it's been a bumper year for financial markets. But as a new decade moves swiftly into view, analysts are becoming understandably nervous about a potential stock market crash. The S&P 500 is up nearly 30%. The Dow Jones has gained a shocking 20%. And it says 2019 is about to become the U.S. stock market's best year since 1997, which is true. But nothing lasts forever, and this decade-long bull market is almost certainly heading for a crash landing. It says, according to Guggenheim's Partners Chief Investment Officer Scott Minerd, the end of the glorious bull market is getting dangerously close. And a bull market is when the markets or prices of stocks are rising. And he says that is coming to an end. He says the Fed's easy money policies over the past year have helped pump markets full of liquidity. This has created an environment comparable to that of 1998, when a 45-day correction shaved nearly 20% off the S&P 500. And what also happened during that time? There were a lot of people that lost their jobs. And all of that is in the scriptures. So we're going to get the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, starting at verse 1. It says, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So yeah, right now you have the opportunity, because of this grace period, to get your faith and your spirit right with your power, being Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You have the opportunity right now to beg out and cry out for the forgiveness of your sins. You have the opportunity to show the Lord that you want to come back to him through faith, that you're keeping the laws through faith, that you love the Lord. You have to show the Lord right now that you have the proper sacrifices, which are what? A broken spirit and a contrite one as well. You have the opportunity to do that right now before the evil days come, before the time of Jacob trouble comes. And then all of a sudden, what are you going to do? You want to cry out to the Lord then? It's going to be too late. So remember the Lord right now. Seek the Lord right now. Verse 2 says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, or the clouds return after the rain, because wisdom is going to be gone in this place as well. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. So what usually happens when the stock market crashes, when the dollar starts to fall dramatically? Well, you have lots of layoffs, lots of people that lose their jobs. And it's going to be very similar when this next stock market crashes, and hopefully that happens in the year 2020. So the whole point being right now, remember Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai while you have this grace period, while mercy, I'm going to say, is still open unto you. So that's one thing we're hoping that happens in 2020. This huge stock market crash and a lot of people lose their jobs, because what that's also going to do is it's going to usher in millions of people rioting and looting as well. And that's all prophecy too. So it goes on. Oh yeah, here we go. This subtitle says timing a market correction, which is very hard to do. But because of different signs, Joe Davis, head of investment strategy at Vanguard, says he sees a 50% chance of a market crash in 2020. And now you can look at 50% and say, well, that's a give and take. Who knows? It could happen and it could not happen. When someone predicts a 50% chance of a stock market crash, you got to understand that that's a very high prediction. It's a very high number. If anything, he basically might as well be saying 60, 70%. Because when you get to the 50% mark, you're basically saying, look, there's a really good chance that I see this coming based upon 1, 2, and 3, X, Y, and Z different factors. You just don't put out 50% chance of a market crash out of nowhere. So at the end of the day, it's going to happen anyway, whether it's 2020 or not. But we're definitely hoping that it is. 2020 will be lit for a fact. I don't want to get that article yet. I'm going to save this one for last. This is also what we're hoping manifests in a more dramatic way in 2020. This is from discovermagazine.com. This article was written December 17th, 2019. So about 2.5 weeks ago. It says Elon Musk, hold on. It says Elon Musk wants to put computers in people's heads. Now watch how the article starts. It says, will 2020 be the year humans start walking around with computers in their heads? Elon Musk thinks so. And I damn sure hope so. I hope that all the 2/3 get the chip. I hope all these Edomites get the chip. And all the rest of the other nations get the chip. And regardless of whether these Edomites and the other nations get the chip, it doesn't matter anyway. They're still going to die in this second death, because salvation is only promised to the elect out of the nation of Israel. And then in the kingdom, eventually, all Israel will be saved. But we're looking for the microchip to be made mandatory in 2020 as well. Why is that? Because World War III will not break out until the microchip is made mandatory. Why is this? Because of the well-known prophecy that we all know about in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. Revelation 13, starting at verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. Who's the he? The he is talking about the man that runs the beast system, which is the so-called white man. His biblical nationality is the Edomite. They are the Edomites of the Bible. And he's going to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, aka your brains, like Elon Musk said, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. My fault. Don't I have? Whatever. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. We should all know by now. It is 2020. We should all know by now that the mark of the beast is truly 144,000% the microchip. The mark of the beast is the microchip, or it's also referred to as the RFID chip. Many people already have it in their right hand, in their left hand, and also in their foreheads as well. But Elon Musk is hoping that it truly is pushed more so in the foreheads in 2020. It goes on to say, Neuralink, Musk's secretive biohacking company, launched in 2016 with the promise of implementing cutting-edge technology directly into people's brains. Cutting-edge technology that will get you killed. At a press conference in July, the Neuralink team announced plans for a chip, dubbed the N1, that would physically attach to a user's brain or your forehead through a neural lace, a network of tiny threads. Each thread would send and receive electrical pulses in the brain, blah, blah, blah. Let's jump down to this paragraph right here. It might sound like science fiction. It doesn't sound like science fiction to me. It sounds like biblical prophecy. But the company contends it has already tested the chip in animals, including a monkey, with very positive results, according to Musk. And you already know that they've tried it on humans. It says, and assuming the FDA allows it, Neuralink officials say they want to start human trials this year. We'll see if 2020 brings this brain hacking fantasy to life. So look forward to this. Look forward to them finally putting it out there that they're trying it out on humans. I already know through the spirit that they have been doing it. Now they're just going to be putting it out there to the public that they're trying it out on humans, because you're going to get a lot of people that are going to be willing to try it, to trial it out. They're going to say, come here for a few $100s. We'll put this chip in your brain, see if it cures you of X, Y, and Z disease, or X, Y, and Z illness, whatever's going on with the individual. They're going to make it seem like, and they already have been doing it, but they're going to make it even seem like even further that miracles are taking place because of the chip. You're receiving your vision back. Your diabetes is being cured, so on and so forth, dementia, whatever. But we're looking forward to the chip being made mandatory. Let's see what else is going on. Boom, after the chip, once again, what did I say? The microchip has to be made mandatory, and then after the chip is made mandatory, then World War III is going to break out. So that's also what we're looking forward to in World War III. This is what needs to happen in order for the kingdom of heaven, by default, the nation of Israel, to finally be its true sovereign land, and for the true Israelites, the true biblical Israelites, to be put back in that land, being the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans. We're looking for Yahweh Shai to return and for him to bring us into that land. That's going to happen in the midst of World War III. So this article is from express.co, and this came out today, excuse me, January 2nd, 2020. It says World War III, Trump warns Iran will pay a very big price for the attack on the U.S. Embassy. Now, this is a really good read. I would suggest literally typing this in. This can be a video topic itself, and I'm pretty sure a few brothers have made a video on it anyway. But I'm only going to read maybe like the first two paragraphs. I don't want to get too far into it. But we're looking for basically World War III to break out. And as the scriptures say, the least of the flock is going to make that happen. So let's read this verse and we'll grab maybe two scriptures. It says, Donald Trump has ordered the U.S. Army's 82nd Airborne Division's Alert Brigade to deploy to Kuwait, I guess, with immediate effect following an attack on the American embassy by supporters of an Iranian-backed militia. And a lot of this stuff, all this back and forth attacks, it could be propaganda. It could be false flags. It could be political stunts. Who really knows? But at the end of the day, it's all prophecy, and we know it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So even though it may just be a political stunt, we still report on it because it's something that could lead to something bigger. It's an event that could lead to something bigger, a bigger prophecy, I should say. It says the U.S. president also warned that the U.S. president also warned Iran that it will pay a very big price for any damage or loss of life to U.S. citizens in the embassy. Trump said, "This is not a warning, it is a threat." On Tuesday, the U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper confirmed that 750 paratroopers were already on their way to the Middle East. And why are they going to the Middle East? That's all prophecy again. We should already know this. The book of Joel, Yahweh Shaphat. He added that additional troops were preparing to deploy over the coming days as the U.S. ramps up its response to the crisis. 3 U.S. defense officials told the U.S. TV channel Fox News that the deployment, Salakia, would involve 4,000 soldiers. Mr. Esper said on New Year's Eve, "This deployment is an appropriate and precautionary action taken in response to increased threat levels against U.S. personnel and facilities such as we witnessed in Baghdad today." Let me jump down to where they speak about it a little bit. Yeah, so this right here, we'll read these 3 paragraphs and then we'll get some scriptures. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo called the outrage an act of state-sponsored terrorism that was abetted by Iranian proxies. The U.S. compound in Baghdad was attacked by some 6,000 demonstrators furious over the deaths of militia members in U.S. airstrikes. On Sunday night, U.S. jet fighters bombed 5 weapon depots in Iraq and Syria controlled by the Iranian-backed militia Kataib Hezbollah, killing at least 25 people and wounding 51. So the U.S. and, of course, the U.S. attacked Iraq and Syria, bases over there that they believe were backed by Hezbollah. And then, of course, you have these people, 6,000 demonstrators. And then they, what does it say? Furious over the death. Hold on, my fault. Oh, yeah, they attacked the U.S. Embassy. I couldn't get the wording right. And then they attacked the U.S. Embassy, and then now Donald Trump is sending the military over there. And once again, this is all biblical prophecy. I'm going to grab maybe 2 scriptures to show that. I just wanted to sum that up really quickly before we read any further. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38. Verse 1, it says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him." And of course, we know Gog and Magog to be Russia. Now, yeah, we'll keep reading. "And say, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee back," speaking about Russia, "and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." Now, why are we reading this prophecy? Because of verse 5. It says Persia, and we know Persia to be who? Iran. It says Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer, which is Turkey, and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare thyself, thou, talking about Russia, and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Who is the them? Verses 5 through 6. So Russia is going to be a guard to these various nations. One of them specifically that we're talking about is Gomer, is Iran. Now, why is that article important? Because you see all the tension going on with U.S. and Iran right now. And so if Donald Trump is sending more military troops over there in the Middle East, which is all biblical prophecy, well, we're looking for the U.S. to potentially do something to Iran that's going to make Russia have to come to the defense of Iran. Now, this could be strictly the U.S. is doing, or it could be something that Israel does to Iran. Either way, whether Israel does it, literally the Israel over there, as it is right now, or whether Israel gets Babylon to do it, it's going to come from those Amalekites. And this is how we know. Let me type this in because I don't know exactly the verse. Least and then flock. Okay. Least of the flock. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Matter of fact, let me just type it into Google. Least of the flock. Jeremiah, no, it's not. 50 and 45, I believe. So here we are, Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50. Is it 45? Let me see. Yep. Jeremiah 50, verse 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Babylon. And this is speaking about the virgin daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great, which is America, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. This is speaking about the Edomites, and more specifically, the Amalekites. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. So it's going to be those Amalekites over there in Israel right now that does something that stirs up this next World War III. Of course, after the microchip is made mandatory. Either Israel is going to attack Iran, or those Amalekites are going to use Babylon to attack Iran, which is going to make Russia have to step in. And that's going to make the whole World War III break out. Now, I'm going to grab one more article. And the reason why I want to bring this one out, boom, is not to read through any of it, but really just to show you the title. Now, my brother, my fleshly brother, who's also in the truth, over here in the DC camp, he sent this article not too long ago in our group chat that we have. And it's just the spirit that he sent this article, because I had already had the idea of making this video because of the last 3 articles that I just brought out. And then he sends this, so I check it out. And it says, woke on steroids, Brexit breakthrough, and Iran on brink of war, as we just spoke about. 2020 predictions from RT contributors. And so I just wanted to bring out that title and then really just read you. We'll read the first paragraph. 2019 was a volatile year of fever-pitch politics, flamboyant rhetoric, absolutely, cultural wars, and narrowly missed actual wars. By the looks of it, 2020 is set to crank it all up even further. Here are RT's top predictions for the new year, so-called new year. And we'll just read the subtitles. It says culture, more woke, more broke. It says economy, the time of gold, Bitcoin, and neo-feudalism. And when you read this article, this is a really good read as well. And this can be a whole video itself too. When you read this subtitle, it's talking about how they're predicting that, I'll read the first sentence. 2020 is the year the U.S. dollar loses its role as the global reserve currency. I'm trying not to make this video too long, but it's so juicy. It's a lot of different, it's a lot of information coming out. You know, brothers should really have no problem making videos. Let me just put that out there. But yeah, it's going into how the U.S. dollar is going to lose its role as a global reserve currency, and that different cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, and then especially gold, is going to be on the rise with the demise of the U.S. dollar in 2020. That's one of their predictions. It says arms race, a new generation of weapons unleashed. And it's really not new. It's just being brought to light now. China, Hong Kong riots settled through incentives, not force. It says the Hong Kong riots will continue in 2020. And not just the Hong Kong riots, but you're going to actually see riots through the spirit in America very soon too. Let me see if there's anything else. Middle East, Iran on the brink of war. We already read about this. Why Iran? Because prophecy talks about the Middle East. This is where the war is going to break out. Joel, the 3rd chapter. Is it Joel? I want where it says, yeah, verse 12. Let me see if it's anywhere else first. I saw verse 12. It said it. Oh, verse 2. What am I saying? Joel 3 verses 1 and 2. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh-Shaphat, which is in the Middle East, and will plead, meaning judge, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So this is why we have a lot of tensions in the news concerning the Middle Eastern area over there. It's because it's all prophecy. Everything that's happening right now is all in the hands of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's why we have so much confidence. We know prophecy. U.S. failed impeachment and election, giving Trump free hand, blah, blah, blah. Turning to Asia, worry of the West. And we're done right there. And type in this article, like I said. You don't have a video topic, read this article. Literally. And you will have some content, I guarantee you, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So with that being said, and Salaki, I thought I turned off my notifications, but apparently I didn't. I do pray that this video was edifying. I'm going to end off with one more scripture, actually. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verses 4 through 8. And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There's your, wars. What am I thinking? Trade wars. And there should be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And we're looking for 2020 to be a super, as they say in the world, dumb lit year. We're looking for 2020 to be a very, very lit year, full of prophecies manifesting left and right, for faith to be flourishing all around. So stay circumspect. We know that persecution is coming, but that's prophecy as well. And embrace it. Embrace all of it. It's all prophecy. So call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Chakwadash. Double honor to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who taught us the truth. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.